What is going on, YouTube? Today I'm going to be sharing with you how to get an 800 plus credit score, and real quick to show you that I'm not BSing or just talking about a theory that I know that has worked for other people or just sharing information that I heard or read somewhere else. Real quick, this is my credit score. I'll have it pop up right here, and I'm going to be sharing you what I did to get it there, maintain it, and now cement it into the mid 800s, okay? But I know that this is from Credit Karma, but to be completely transparent about credit scores, the credit score that you see on Credit Karma or apps like Credit Sesame are not actually your FICO score, they are your FACO score, which has a play on words, which is fake credit score, but it's a very close representation of your credit score. And I compare my FICO to my FACO score, and they're pretty much identical. But anyways, now that that's out of the way, so with that, let's jump into the video and the 5 steps that you can take to earn your way to an 800 plus credit score. The first thing you can do is to get things started off right is to be added on as an authorized user to another person's credit account. And basically what an authorized user is, and what happens is when you become an authorized user, you're inheriting that person's credit history on that specific credit card. So for example, let's say someone in your life, maybe a parent or a longtime friend, has had a credit card for over 5 years, right? And made every payment on time, great relationship with that bank. If they add you on as an authorized user, all of a sudden you would have all those years of credit history that come with that person affecting your credit score. And there's another few things that I want to note and share about being an authorized user, just to make it crystal clear and really clear the air on the subject. The first is that the person that you're becoming an authorized user for is not going to be affected by your credit history. It's only a one-way relationship, right? So let's say your parents add you on as an authorized user. They're not going to be affected by your credit score. The only party that is going to be affected is the one that is being added as a user. They're either going to receive the benefits or the negatives. Another thing to note is if you're an authorized user, you're not legally liable to pay back any of the charges that you make on the card. It's going to be up to the person who is the original card holder to pay those charges back. So one thing you can do to make someone more comfortable with adding you as an authorized user, right? Even though you should have some trust to be able to ask in the first place, they should probably know that you're not just going to rack a bunch of charges and never pay them back. But what you can do is you can just tell them like, hey, you hold on to the card. I don't even, have to use it once. Just let them know that, and you're just in it to help you build credit. You're not going to spend on their dime in any way. So get connected with someone who has a more established or better credit score than you, and ask them in their help. Ask them to add them onto one of your accounts that they've had for the longest. And the whole process really shouldn't take more than 5 to 10 minutes on their end. Just a basic exchange of information. And also one thing that could make it a little better for them is credit card companies pretty often will email you saying that if you add an authorized user to your account and they spend a certain amount, they're going to receive a bonus that will come in the form of maybe cash back, miles, or some other form of rewards. So maybe even, mention if they're hesitant or if they're excited to do it. Either way, check their email, hey, there might be something in it for you as well, aside from just helping me, with my credit. The next step to increase your credit quickly is to avoid any hard pulls, right? Or any hard inquiries. And a hard inquiry is going to be a credit application that is you basically applying for a new credit line, whether that be a home loan, car loan, another credit card. And this is going to ding your score because it's just kind of a bit of an alert to other banks, like, hey, this person is trying to accumulate a lot of credit right now. I don't know if we should necessarily approve them for ours, because if you can see they're approving a bunch of credit cards right now. That seems a little fishy, a little sketch. So basically avoid any credit applications that you aren't 100% positive that you want. And the next step to a high credit score is keeping your utilization as low as possible, locally with each of your cards as well as globally with your whole credit score. And what that means is you want your overall utilization, basically, an ideal number is under 5 to 10%, but you also don't want any of your cards to go over that 5 to 10 utilization threshold as well. And to break that down a bit further, let's say all your credit cards combined, let's say you have multiple credit cards and combined your total credit lines are $10,000. And maybe you have $500 on your credit, so you're using 5% of your overall utilization, which is fantastic. But let's say that the credit card that you have that $500 on, or maybe you have that $500 on just one credit card that only has a $1,000 credit limit. So right now you're actually using a 50% utilization locally, and this is going to look a whole lot worse overall and affect your score more negatively because it's concentrated on one card, putting that one credit card at 50% utilization as opposed to splitting it up over multiple cards. The next key is to keep accounts open, even the ones that you don't use, okay? One factor of your credit score is going to be the credit history and the number of credit accounts that you have. And both these numbers are going to be affected by both opening and closing accounts. And if you close accounts, right, it's going to negatively affect both these factors, okay? It's going to lower the amount of accounts you've opened, and it's also, you're not going to be able to basically get older and increase the age and the average time you have with your credit cards if you keep closing your accounts. So unless your credit card has an annual fee or there's just some other reason why you want to close the account, it's really going to be in your best interest to just leave that card open. What I do and what you can do too is you can just have all the credit cards you don't use, just put them in a separate wallet, and once a year just have a little calendar reminder go off to ping you to use them for something cheap like a cup of coffee or something on Amazon, and it's going to make sure that they're not closed due to inactivity, and they're going to help your credit score tremendously over time. And the last and arguably one of the most important steps is to never miss a payment. So even if you spend more than you can pay off, or if you can't even make the minimum, you guys, missing payments is just going to be the worst possible thing that you can do. And not only are you probably going to be charged a late fee as well, but it's going to hurt your score and you're going to have to recover from that. So, as a quick side note, if you do want to learn how to get out of late fees that do come with missed payments, I'll link a video in the description below. But if you really can't even make the minimum payment for whatever reason, first I recommend that you take a look at your spending, basically because that's going to be the root of the problem, right? If you're spending too much on your credit card and you can't make the minimum, that's a huge red flag. So take a look at that first. But the other thing you can do if you can't even make the minimum is you can call your bank and you can actually let them know that you can't make the minimum, but you're letting them know and asking them to waive the fee to give you extra time. And more likely than not, they're going to happen because, guys, banks are not your enemies. Really, they're your friend. And a good relationship, a good way you can view a bank is just view it as like a good teacher, right? And instead of just like not turning in your homework if you have something due, what do you think is going to make you look worse? If you don't turn in that homework, or you let your teacher know that you're not going to make the deadline and you would like a bit of an extension if possible, as opposed to just ghosting her, right? In credit as well as in life, ghosting someone or something is usually never the answer, but I'm not going to get into that right now. But one quick tip too to make sure that you never miss a payment is to just simply turn on autopay. It's going to take you guys a few minutes to set up. You can do it right now with the phone in your hand if you're watching this on your mobile, or if you're on desktop, take the phone out from your desk and turn on autopay right now. And I totally recommend you set up auto payments not only on the cards you're currently using, but also on cards that you're not using. Because say, for example, a charge happens on a card you don't use, it's not gonna be on your mind. You're not gonna remember or know to pay it off because you don't even know a charge went out. So if you turn on auto pay, it's gonna save you from any accidental charges as well. Turning on auto pay is also one of the first 3 things I recommend you do as soon as you open a credit card. And if you wanna find out the other 2, I'll link that video in the description as well for you to check out. There's gonna be a ton of value in that video as well. And it's gonna show you guys some really easy action steps you can take when you first open up a credit card to get the most value out of the rewards and not miss any important dates, things like that. And you guys, so thanks so much for watching. I honestly know that these tactics and just like mindsets are gonna help you improve your credit score, but I also don't want you to think that this needs to happen overnight, right? Your credit score is something that is going to stick with you, for your entire life. So you've got some time to improve it. You've got some time to recover if it's not where it's gonna be. And if you take these steps, I know it's gonna get there. But also I do wanna say, as with credit and a lot of different other things in life, it's a lot easier to maintain certain things and to fix them when you're broken, right? It's a lot easier to just oil your car every few months than it is to do a major, transmission repair if it goes. So just take the necessary steps and the necessary action, and you guys are gonna have such an easy time acquiring an 800 credit score if you, first off, allow enough time and you take the necessary steps. And you guys, trust me, as somebody who's lived in the high 700s, the low 800s for the majority of my life, it's really not because I did anything special, but it's simply because I never dropped the ball. And it's so much easier to do that than have to recover and take the necessary steps after you make an error. And just as kind of not really a final tactic or thing to do, but just an overall tip to help you get an 800 credit score is to care about it, right? How is anything supposed to get better in your life if you don't care about it, right? If you don't dedicate any time to it. And I know that everyone's like, dude, this guy's telling me to love my credit score. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm not saying you should spend an incredible amount of time on it. I don't want you to do that. I don't think anyone should, but I think you should care about it a little bit. And what I mean by that is just simply, downloading Credit Karma or Credit Sesame and just checking the notifications when they alert you that your credit score changed or something new happened on your credit report. And then just once a month, checking on your credit score just to make sure that everything's aligned. Really nothing that's taking up an incredible amount of time, but those little steps you take are gonna give you basically awareness. And if something has gone wrong, you can fix it immediately as opposed to letting it get out of hand. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys have some actionable takeaways. And if you did like this content, definitely give it a like because it helps me understand, if I should be putting out more content like this or just not do it. That helps me a ton. And if you guys like learning about credit, I definitely recommend you subscribe because on this channel, I talk about how to, get out of fees, get the most value out of your credit cards. Really, a ton of different topics regarding personal finance, and I just offer a ton of value. So I invite you to check out the rest of my channel as well as my personal website, italorobinson.com, where you learn how to fix your score, get out of fees, and cash in on a crazy amount of rewards. So with that, I look forward to seeing how much your guys' scores improve. And if you guys are doing anything too that helps you keep your score up in the 800s and maintain, definitely drop a comment so other people can learn from you as well and you can provide some value too. Thanks again for watching and I'll see you guys soon. Cheers.